Tuesday, the 6th of August, good morning. I've entitled my article today, Move Along Folks, There's Nothing to See Here. Well, the large falls in markets around the world over the past few days have been concerning. Throughout June and July, it seemed as if the global tech market could only ever keep rising. Indexes such as the US Nasdaq, which contains large names such as Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia and Amazon, just kept on rising. This obviously assisted our clients' portfolios. This euphoria abruptly came to an end last week when US new jobs data came out, showing that the US employer is hiring a bit less. When adding this to other data, markets started to sell off as they anticipated recession in the US. I've repeatedly said this for 2 years. The only game in town is central bank interest rates. This is why. After the credit crunch in 2008, which ravaged the global economy, leading to considerable losses, the central bankers became famous rock stars. Suddenly, these traditionally boring number crunchers were the lifeline to the markets, and so the market's dependency on cheap money began. Low interest rates with quantitative easing pushed massive amounts of money into the system, allowing businesses, homeowners, and investors alike to borrow cheap money and then to speculate. This idea was great. The problem was that nobody wanted it to stop. As inflation took hold in 2022, central bankers turned from rock stars to pantomime villains. The markets booed and moaned as the money supply was squeezed with rising interest rates. In the past year, we've seen markets get excited again about impending rate cuts that have failed to materialize. The Federal Reserve in America is crucial to the global money supply. Their reticence to cut rates is now starting to weigh on sentiment, hence the huge drops yesterday. However, let's just consider some key facts that the Fed will be watching. Yesterday, the monthly PMI, that's the Purchasing Managers Index report, came out for July. Now, this is a global report that takes into account some 40 economies around the world. It considers the growth or shrinkage of aspects such as the services and manufacturing sectors of those 40 countries. The PMI reading is a very important indicator of global economic strength. Generally, a reading over 50 suggests a stronger outlook. The global PMI reading came in yesterday for July at 52.5. This was down by half a point from 52.9 in June, but still was way above the danger level that predicts recession. In addition, the fastest growing economy in the developed world was, you guessed it, the US. Interestingly, followed by the UK, with faster growth than the global average and much better manufacturing growth for us than Germany, Russia, and Japan. I'm going to talk up the UK here. We're currently in a much better position than the media and the new government would have us believe. If the US goes a bit wacky in November's presidential elections, we could end up being the best bet for international investment. Let's get back on track. The Federal Reserve are very unlikely to therefore suddenly cut interest rates at an emergency meeting. There's a strong probability that they will cut by about 0.5% in September, but it will continue to be slow and boring. No 2008 rate chops yet. Of course, this could change if we suddenly see market contagion. In other words, really good companies being sold to fund cash shortfalls. However, as I write this article, there's no sign of this. So, in summary, we believe the markets got overexcited yesterday. Yes, some froth needed to come off of the top of those magnificent 7 stocks, such as Apple and Nvidia, etc. However, the narrative of the US plunging into a recession is just not currently being backed up by the factual data. There are some silver linings to these clouds as well. Firstly, we noticed bond funds lifting nicely yesterday as a flight to safety started. Now, this will have really helped to counter falls in our level 1 to 3 portfolios. Secondly, the US markets have been far too heavily skewed towards 7 stocks for far too long. Maybe yesterday's rout will change perceptions and show traders that they need to get back to proper diversification. Tracker funds will have really been punished in the last week because those 7 mega stocks represent such a huge proportion of the index being tracked. Active funds, such as the ones we seek to include in our clients' portfolios, will have sought to better diversify, thus reducing the impact of losses on portfolios. I hope this all helps. As ever, we're here if you need anything at all. Nothing is too much trouble. My very best wishes, and I'll be back in touch again if there are any real problems. Thank you.